is In the Know for Thursday, September 7th, the 250th day of 2023. There are 115 days left in the year. Good morning, MD, guiding you through In the Know at K105 on Litchfield's Country Station 1039 The Moose, live online at K105.com via the Apple and Android smartphone app. Using the SoundCloud, iTunes, or Spotify podcast, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, and the hashtag is In the Know. Coming up today, we will update you on the latest news headlines from around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country. College football season resumes tonight for the local area. Also, the NFL season kicks off today. Plus, if you play fantasy football, we got some funny wagering options. That and a whole lot more coming up today here on In the Know. Settling into my left, rolling Mach 9 with her hair on fire, is my beautiful wife, the beautiful girl, Speech. Good morning, sweetheart.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm okay.
You want to feel happier?
Sure.
Eat grapes. If you need to boost your mood, pop some purple or red grapes into your mouth. It should boost your happiness level in as little as 20 minutes. It's because a compound in the darkly colored grapes energizes a brain region that steadies moods and keeps your nervous system calm and relaxed.
There are very few things that I don't care for, and I will eat grapes. But the aftertaste of grapes for me is
Huh.
it bothers me.
So will you drink a grape
weird.
knee-high?
Yeah, and I like the flavor grape.
Yeah.
It's grapes themselves,
You know
the
what
actual
would,
fruit.
You know what would be good about right now?
What?
A peach knee-high.
Ooh.
Yeah, wouldn't that be
That's
fun?
trash talk.
It's been 1,000 years since
Yes.
I had a peach knee eye. That'd be good to have. He is a 5-time winner of the coveted Ohio News Hawk Award. He's the 2-time Silver Sound nominee, covering every corner of the globe: London, Budapest, Rio, Tokyo, and even Litchfield. He's Sam Gormley and the Sparks. Morning, Sam.
Morning, Ralph.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. You got a grape-colored shirt on today. Did they have grape knee-high at the soccer game last night on the pitch?
Not that I'm aware of. No.
Have you-
It was a nice night. It was a little warm to start, and then once the sun went down, it was pretty comfortable.
Have you ever had a peach knee-high?
I don't even know what a knee high
That's
is.
what I wondered. Yeah, that's okay. You can look. You can Google it someday. I didn't wonder if it's a regional thing, but yeah, knee-high was always good. Grape or peach, choose your poison. How did the soccer match go last night? You said it was a little warm, but pleasant and
Yeah,
nice.
it was Cougars lost, but
Marion County?
Marion County's pretty talented. Marion County a couple weeks ago beat E-Town, who's a traditional power.
Oh.
So and Cougars held with them, and Marion scored a goal, early into the second half to make it 1-0, and then they scored a couple of, I don't want to call them cheap ones, but a couple of very late in the match. So it was a close match.
A foregone conclusion.
Correct.
Yeah, some garbage buckets.
So it was 3-0.
buckets.
Marion County was the final in that matchup.
Okay, you got a busy week. The rest of you've got in the coming days, and of course you got football
Football.
tomorrow night, but then you got more soccer next week.
Yeah, Monday,
or-
Tuesday soccer, and then almost we were going to have to do Thursday soccer as well next week. But
Oh wow, okay.
we're having to we need to talk to Superintendent Robinson about building us a booth down there because our makeshift booth is not necessarily the most ideal.
Well, the temporary one they had at Center last year is available, apparently.
I'd take it
You
because
would?
I can at least see.
Oh, that'd be good. Oh, getting off the ground is
Because
part of it.
we had a Marion County fan that sat, and we had our vantage point, and he sat and he had his chair, and he had one of those chairs that has like the awning on it,
Yeah.
and he could not have put it in blocking the goal.
Yeah.
So it was like it clearly wasn't on purpose, but it was one of those things that it was like you could not have picked in this entire soccer
Right.
field a worse
Excuse
position.
me, sir. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Could you not choose somewhere else? Sometimes I see those chairs at the beach, and I think that's a sign of a person who's given
Well,
up.
and see what's funny is he was if he wouldn't have had the awning,
Yeah.
it wouldn't have been bad. I could have seen it, but he was the only one lined up that had the awning. So it was kind of like you were the one that had to pick the.
Why would you say that?
I don't know. There's just
We
something
are
about
going to be those people at some point.
it. Right. We'll have given up. That's what I mean. We will have given up whenever that happens.
That's pretty funny.
Going to be gloomy at times today, cooler to end the week. We're going to see possibly some stray showers and some drizzle possible this afternoon. But overall, our weather pattern is pretty nice. Increasing clouds, a high of 80 today. We might not break 80 here between the lakes. Partly cloudy, 65, mostly cloudy, 78 for tomorrow. And still the story to be told, because we'll see what happens as it steers across the Caribbean. But looks like Lee, when it approaches the east coast of the United States, may reach a pressure system where it turns it the other way back into the Atlantic. So won't know until Monday. First, like Monday, it'll be around Puerto Rico and starting to make its turn. And then depending upon what it runs into will determine whether it gets rejected from the contiguous United States or if it makes impact and landfall. So anyway, be monitoring that one. But it's also another big one, another big storm. Another day yesterday and another opportunity for finally reporters to ask Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell about his intentions and his immediate plans. He had a closed-door lunch, which they have that on a weekly basis on Wednesdays. So he met with his colleagues and basically explained to them where he was and what he was doing and how he felt, et cetera. And then they broke from that and met with reporters. And one reporter just asked him, what his plans were. And he says he's going to finish his term as a leader and he's going to finish his term as senator, is what he said. And they just kind of moved on. I did think it was interesting that it seemed like, and it may just be the national media trying to cause friction between two senators from the same state, but it seemed like of all the people trying to throw water on the diagnosis of his issue seemed to be Senator Rand Paul.
Well, he had a quote that was interesting. I don't remember what it was.
He didn't buy the dehydrated part or something. And of course, he's a physician. He's an eye doctor, but he's a physician. So,
well, and I don't know that they necessarily.
They don't. By the you can tell when you speak to them about the other one, you can just tell that you don't get any reaction. You don't get.
I don't think they're. I don't think Rand Paul was in that meeting you were just talking about, kind of thing.
Yeah, I happen to agree with you. The Litchfield City Council met earlier in the week. They met on Tuesday of this week because of the holiday, and they one of the things that they elected to do was purchase a different. It's not a new truck, but purchase a different truck for a member of, for someone who's helping out a lot with Parks and Rec, but also a lot with Public Works. But through that vehicle process and the deliberation on whether that purchase was warranted or not, it did prompt a discussion and probably will prompt further discussions about the privileges or who's taking home vehicles, city-owned vehicles, taking them home and using them to get to and from work, and when that's warranted and when possibly it's abused. So I think that the city council, or at least leadership of the city, are going to take a closer look at that and see if their practices on that need to be modified. Additionally, they approved 2 zone change requests that were recommended by the Planning Commission, one for 201 Mill Street and one for 161 Hanging Rock Road. A Big Clifty man is facing multiple charges after being caught peering into a small child's window. It happened Monday morning about 11 o'clock. Law enforcement was dispatched to the 2600 block of Shaw Creek Road after a father caught his neighbor, a 44-year-old William Merrifield, looking into the window of his 4-year-old daughter. Upon seeing Merrifield looking through the window, the father met the suspect at gunpoint at his daughter's window. Upon police arriving at the scene, Merrifield was on a skid steer on his property. Law enforcement made contact with him. He was found to have methamphetamine, a pipe containing the drug in his pocket. According to the father, Merrifield had also dropped a coloring book underneath his 4-year-old's window, and Merrifield was previously trespassed for the property for similar reasons. So,
wow.
Yeah. Today signals a historical change in Kentucky. Sports wagering is legal as of about 15 minutes ago in the state of Kentucky. The legislature sent that legislation forward or voted back in the session, and they spent the summer implementing on how it will work. And Governor Beshear, just a few minutes ago, so long as he was running on schedule.
And I have what his bet was, because I made that comment last week that I was curious as to what it was.
Right. So, yeah, tell me that in just a second, because I might have a follow-up question. Lieutenant Governor Coleman is also at Turfway Park this morning, where she's doing a ribbon cutting and also, I presume, placing some type of of wager, but it's lined up with the beginning of the NFL season, but it also just happens to coincide with U of L has a Thursday night game. Kentucky plays at home this weekend. Does Western play at home this weekend? They do. And so it's just kind of, it's a spooling up into the fall sports season. So what did he choose to do?
So he did a parlay, which for those that don't know, meaning that you can combine multiple things to happen into one, and it increases your odds to win.
Right.
So he put a parlay on the over for Kentucky wins and Louisville wins. And
Symbolic. Got
And
it.
on Duke football under on their wins.
Duke football
Yes.
on there. Huh.
Which I found interesting because I don't really know that there's any. But he can't put a bet on basketball just yet, so
Right.
it.
All right, the symbolism of that, I get it.
I
just
kinda
figured he
would've-
was going to put a bet on Louisville and a bet on Kentucky.
I almost would have preferred if it would have been on Tennessee as the under or something, but
Yeah,
I guess he
that's
then
right.
knows that he's got that little nook of Eastern Kentucky that has some Tennessee fans, so he probably doesn't want to.
Maybe. Did he have to consult Drew Franklin on making this wager? you
Well,
think?
no, because there's no shot that Drew Franklin would have told him to bet over on Louisville win.
No, that's true. Absolutely. So you got to keep people happy. But anyway, it's underway. Online starts in still 2 weeks away, the 28th or something in that range, but it's here. So the National Football League, Major League Baseball, NBA, the women's NBA, and NCAA baseball, softball, basketball, football, and hockey. Are those the limitations on what you can?
No, you can. Like I was even reading, you can bet on like cornhole. You can bet on. I mean, it's pretty much more of what can't you bet on.
I think eventually, I'm wondering if you can now, because here's the reason I ask. It says among the sports Kentuckians can wager on from the catalog that was approved a week ago by the Horse Racing Commission were the ones that I just mentioned. Do you think they'll add them
No,
in
there's
as they
more.
go?
There's more
There
on
are?
that. I'm
Okay.
assuming. I mean, I don't know that they really thought that they needed to put the cornhole
I got you.
on there.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was funny reading all of just the random.
We got some world-renowned cornhole players here in the Twin Lakes area, so they shouldn't
what I've
omit that
heard.
information because people clearly.
Are you going to be
people
throwing down some big bucks on the
passionate about
cornhole
that.
tournaments?
I could. I probably know about as much about it as I know about anything. Also, part of that legislation, you've probably been witnessed some advertising about sports wagering. The different companies that are involved are making sure that you're aware that you should choose them instead of choosing the other guys, et cetera. So you're probably seeing it socially. I'm seeing quite a bit of it on Twitter because they think that's where their target audience is, or X, or whatever you want to call it. The artist formerly known as Prince. That's just what I should call it. But part of the things that the legislature did in that was we're going to allow this, but we're also going to make requirements that it is easy for people, or people at least are aware that there's help for people where gambling addictions may be a possibility. So even yesterday, I was hearing a lot of the statewide media that were, rolling forward stories about, 1-800-GAMBLE, if you have a problem or you think have a family member that has a problem, and where to turn for resources and what some of the red flags are. And one of the biggest red flags that I heard about yesterday was something called chasing losses. And I didn't really know what that was when they said chasing losses, but after thinking about it, it makes quite a bit of sense. When you lose a bet and then you double down on your next bet thinking, okay, well, eventually I've got a hit. If you're playing blackjack, that might be true. But when you're making a choice on an over and under, or you're choosing a spread or something that there's less math involved, and that can be a very dangerous proposition. And that's when you get into a whole lot of trouble, just because then your losses are compounding.
Especially when you get moments like in the Kentucky game where the running back runs in a touchdown with 40 seconds to go when Kentucky was up already by however many points it was.
Yeah,
Bad beat.
It can make a big difference. Anyway, so I've said all along, I'm fine. I mean, I'm fine with the sports wagering if that's what people want to do. I'm not going to be an active participant, but I'm also not going to tell you I would never do it. It's just not something I would really choose to do as
The cornhole
entertainment.
tournaments haven't come up yet.
That's true. I mean, that might be the thing I might not be able to pass on. I go, oh, cornhole? You can bet on that? Okay, I'm in.
Well,
So-
I've even been playing around in the app and seeing, like, in the middle of the night, I was checking the other day, and it was like Arabian soccer or something. Like all of these, like, just random sports that you can see that go on, and just you could bet live like which player will be the next goal. It's just kind of funny.
Listen, I understand the premise of you go to a major league game and you can bet in inning, will there be a home run this inning? Will there be more than 4 strikeouts? Like, I get that for adding the entertainment, but if you're wagering on Arabian basket weaving, then you might have a problem.
Well, I mean, like I could even just go right now and just see all of the different ones that are on there. There might be cornhole.
I guess there could be. When is the national championship of cornhole? I think it was held recently.
I think so as well.
A female jail inmate in Kentucky has died after jumping out of a moving vehicle in an attempt to escape. This happened, the Fayette County Coroner's Office says 21-year-old Brianna Holland died on August 31st, was that last Thursday, 2 days after the Franklin County Regional Jail inmate leaped from the vehicle. The Franklin Police Department has said Holland jumped out of the transport vehicle's window. Jail deputies found her before assisting police officers arrived, and she went to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. So jumped from a moving vehicle and lost her life as a result of it.
I mean, they have the Czech Republic table tennis right now.
Ping pong.
The
I
table
like
tennis
to play
Star
ping pong.
Series. Elias is facing Carlos. It's a close match right now.
I see. I don't know.
You can bet on it if you want to.
I guess if I had nothing else to worry about, I could spend time doing that. A former eight-term member of the U.S. House of Representatives from Louisville has been appointed a distinguished visiting scholar at the University of Kentucky's Martin School of Public Policy and Administration. John Yarmouth, who was on the House Budget Committee starting in 2009, was chair from 19 to 23, will serve as a distinguished visiting scholar at UK through the 23-24 academic year.
Well, he's clearly seen a lot.
I remember the day that I was on the conference call and he said that the United States could just print as much money as they wanted to and there would be no consequences. And I thought, I know some people that would have an absolute coronary if they heard him say that. Ooh. The Belmont Stakes could be relocated to Saratoga Racecourse in upstate New York as soon as next year, an earlier than anticipated move for the third leg of horse racing's Triple Crown. It would be scheduled for 2024 and 2025. The race had already been committed to for 2025 because of about a $500 million renovation of Belmont Park. What does this mean? It's the equivalent of, for 2 years, whatever reason, Kentucky decided to send the Kentucky Derby to Keeneland. Saratoga is to Belmont what Keeneland is to Churchill Downs. More historic, but not as big and not as modern. What Churchill Downs has been able to do is they've just been remodeling as they go. If you've been to the Derby or you've been to the track anytime recently, they've always got some big project underway. Louisville plays tonight. They'll be hosting Murray State as the racers will visit L&N Federal Credit Union Stadium.
Something like that.
I heard yesterday they were trying to call it the Rail Yard. Okay.
I mean,
I wonder if that'll stick. So they're both teams are
I did
trying
appreciate.
to go 2-0.
Did you see Max Duffy's tweet yesterday?
I did see that about still never punted. Or
yeah,
something.
he said hopefully that can continue since he's a coach on the Murray State staff.
Yeah, the line is, since now we're a sports wagering state, there was never any wagering on
only
sports
in person
before today. Yeah, only in person.
Can't do it
That's
on
right.
the app until
and there's none
27th.
going on anywhere else, and there never has been.
No, you can't drive an hour.
There's never been wagering in Kentucky until just on horse racing.
Never at the Sweet 16.
That's never happened until today. Louisville by 40.5 points.
Under.
You take the under?
Sure.
Okay, you're going to take Kentucky's at 35. You're going to take the over?
No.
No?
I think KSR made a really good point yesterday, and it's exactly what I was thinking. Is Walt Wells served as a coach under Mark Stoops. C.J. Conrad, who's their tight ends coach, played under Mark Stoops. Maxwell Smith, was he early years of Stoops, maybe?
Yeah,
if
maybe.
not, he was like right in that early window. I don't think Stoops will want to run it up on them anyways.
Unless they just can't stop them. I mean, I know they won't try to run it up, but they're not going to fall down or not going to take a knee. So,
I think they'll be very, very, very conservative though in this if it's a big game because they don't want to embarrass.
Probably so, but they got a limited number of if their defense makes a bunch of stops again and rob them of offensive drives, they might not have any choice.
last time the EKU played Kentucky, it went to
that's
overtime. So
but well, you'd like to think that was a different UK football, but those days are behind us. And then Reds fell last night to the Mariners. Yeah, but they had played well against the Mariners. Right?
2 out of 3.
Yep.
Mariners are a good team.
So
I'm
they
not too upset.
back to even in the wild card.
They're half a game back. Right
Half
now.
a game back. I knew that going into yesterday, I thought they were a half game ahead. So anyway, Reds still in contention. Got to get to a break. We'll come back. Got more on the way here on In the Know.
What do you call someone who puts your family's interests ahead of their own? Someone who takes time to listen without rushing you or passing judgment. Someone you can count on to help guide you through one of life's most difficult times. At Watkins Funeral Home, we call someone like that a friend of the family. For families making funeral arrangements in Litchfield, there's only one thing you need to know. You've got a friend at Watkins Funeral Home. For more information, visit us online at rogers-watkins.com.
For more than 70 years, Owensboro Health Twin Lakes Medical Center has cared for the health of our friends, neighbors, and family members in Grayson County and beyond. We've celebrated every beautiful newborn, every successful surgery, and every healed injury. Owensboro Health Twin Lakes Medical Center is focused on finding solutions to your health challenges. As part of the Owensboro Health System, we want to keep you healthy. We want to make you proud.
At Holiday World and Splash and Safari, sometimes free takes a little convincing, especially with dads.
Free parking? That's how they get you.
They're just naturally suspicious of free stuff. Free soft drinks!
Whoa. That's how they get you.
But after a day of fun on the world's longest water coasters and our 400-drone light show, dads come around. At Holiday World, we get you. We're just not out to get you. That's why there's
free soft drinks! Free parking! Free sunscreen!
Get tickets at holidayworld.com.
The Heiser Hearing Institute is here to provide the care and support you need. From hearing screenings and diagnostic tests to cochlear implants and balance treatments, the goal of Heiser Hearing Institute's Kentucky Hears program is to remove barriers and to provide equal access to hearing healthcare in rural Kentucky. Don't let hearing loss hold you back from living your best life. Visit kyhears.org to see when their mobile clinic is coming for a visit near you. That's kyhears.org.
Google is requiring election ads to disclose any use of artificial intelligence. Lisa Taylor fills us in.
The tech giant said Wednesday that the policy update will go into effect in November, a year ahead of the 2024 presidential election. A spokesperson said in a statement that the new rule builds on Google's existing efforts to increase transparency by further supporting responsible political advertising. The policy affects ads that contain AI-generated content that depicts real or realistic-looking people or events.
The CEO of the Anti-Defamation League is responding to Elon Musk's threat to sue the organization over alleged defamation. Jonathan Greenblatt called the possible lawsuit frivolous. Greenblatt said Musk was being irresponsible when he claimed the ADL had falsely accused X, formerly known as Twitter, and Musk of being anti-Semitic. And Meta employees are back in the office 3 days a week. The new mandate went into effect on Tuesday. Back in March, Meta did an analysis of its work-from-home policy and concluded that engineers who work in person get more done. Tech Report, Mark Mayfield.
Today is Salami Day.
I do like salami.
It
Salami roll-ups with some cream cheese in there.
Sounds pretty good.
Have you never had that?
I don't know if I've had that or not. Like,
Really?
Those are,
That's like a
might have had like pinwheels that are there.
Yeah.
yeah. You just take
That are
salami, put some
similar.
cream cheese, and roll it. Wow, that
So
was
you
like
just- You don't use like the flour tortilla. You just
no
use
the
salami and
salami, and you put cream cheese in
I
it and
like
roll it up
Okay.
like a little taquito.
It is also Grandma Moses Day. I heard she was a big fan of salami roll-ups. And Feel the Love Day today. And just trying to create context. And also Google Commemoration Day.
Yeah, shout out to Google.
Backrub was formed this date in 1998.
What did you say before your line of did you Google it, or did you Did you pull out the encyclopedia or something? Was
Put
it?
your nose to the ground.
If there was only a yeah.
There was only a way.
There was. No, I've really, in the last 20 years, I've really, I guess that's 25 years since then. Just, if there were only a way we could find out.
Because, I mean, what could you... Before then, you had to go to the library and...
Yeah, there were a lot more stalemates in arguments, though, back then. Because you just had to... That's where the agree to disagree came about. It's like, you think it was red? No, I think it was blue. All right, then, whatever you think. And both people walked away thinking they were right. Well, now you just whip out the Google and go, see? Right? So it settles them, but it's difficult. So that's what's happening today. A list of 5 most obese... No, I don't want to do that yet. There's something else that I had. Sam, do you play fantasy football?
Yeah, I do. Absolutely.
You actively participate?
Oh, yeah. I usually am in at least one league a year. I won last year.
Are you the commissioner of your league? No.
I don't know that I've ever actually been the commissioner. Maybe one, but no, I've not. No, the commissioner, it takes, you got to be the right person to do it.
Yeah.
Because you have to deal with a lot of because at least once a year there's a little dust up or something on people fighting over something.
A kerfuffle?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't really care enough to deal with the kerfuffle.
I got it. I play fantasy sports 4 days a year.
March Madness?
During the Masters. It's 4 days. I can focus. I can remember to pick my roster for 4 days. Otherwise, something that goes on for months and weeks, I can't do it.
Well, see, fantasy football I like because you can check it really once a week.
Okay, that would be
fantasy
helpful.
Baseball I've tried to do, but I can't get into it because it's 162 days.
Well, but I also don't want to be in. I guess you're right about the bracket pool, but I don't really think about the bracket pool being fantasy sports. It just because we were doing bracket pools long before there was actually fantasy sports. Although, what was the Omatic game? There was a baseball fantasy game that was going on when I was a kid that people would play through the mail. So
Abner Doubleday.
I think that's he invented it. My dad will tell you. My dad he'll know the name. It's something Omatic. But
I don't know.
But these leagues, I also don't want to play in a league because I don't want to get involved in any kerfuffles.
Well, I mean, there was the big kerfuffle involving the former Red Tommy Pham, where there was some fight in their game, and you might remember this from the beginning of last baseball season, where he was in a league with a bunch of MLB players, and apparently there was some kerfuffle with Jock Peterson, who played for the Giants. And Tommy Pham, before the game against the Giants last year for the Reds, walked out and slapped him in the face. And so there was this little, an actual fight.
Did he have an actual glove? Did he?
No, it was just a slap. And I think everyone was like, "What?
You
what is
challenge
happening?"
somebody to do a duel, though. You slap them with a glove. You take your glove off and then you slap them. I didn't mean like a baseball glove.
It was more just funny because afterwards they were like, "What was the fight about?" He's like, "Fantasy football." And they're like, "No, really. What was the fight about?" He's like, "Oh yeah."
So if you win your league, what did you win?
My league, I won a decent amount of money.
Okay, so there's money involved. Okay,
Yeah.
what happens to the person who finishes last in your league?
We've never done anything like that, like the whole get a tattoo.
There's
or,
no loser
or
award.
Stand on the side of the road with a sign. I know that the late Steve Meredith, his team, his group would always. The winner got to pick the loser's fantasy team name for the next year.
Oh, okay.
Which was,
That's
and I
helpful.
liked that because it was
it's not too
harmless.
bad. Yeah. Well, I ran across a list of some of the best and maybe the cruelest responses from people when surveyed. One person said the loser has to go skydiving at the lowest rated skydiving establishment in Texas.
No.
Talk about an incentive not to finish last.
I wouldn't go to the highest rated one.
There's one called the Cancun Challenge. The last place has to stay at the local Mexican restaurant from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m.
That's funny.
Every jumbo margarita they drink counts as an hour off their time.
I've seen the Waffle House one where you have 24 hours and every waffle you eat, you get an hour off your time.
The last place finisher is awarded a front license plate that in no uncertain terms makes it clear that they came in last place. The license plate is affixed to the individual's car at this year's draft. They must keep it on their car until the following year's draft. So you basically can't mark it and say, I lost fantasy football, so here's my license plate. You just have to leave it there for people to decide what they want to do. My friend and I met these guys in Central Park who made their loser dress up as Popeye and give boat rides to strangers around the boathouse for 2 hours with
good.
balloons that said loser tied to the backs.
That's good.
I love it.
And then last year in a couples league, the winner got to name the loser's firstborn child.
Listen.
I hope there would be some grace involved
maybe
in that.
middle name.
Oh, my goodness. I think I would kill my husband.
Dave Fleming, who is the TV broadcaster for the San Francisco Giants, who looks very much like Matt Jones. Did you see he was the loser of, I guess the Giants did a league?
Yeah.
And he had to serve as the bat boy for a game.
Oh, no, I didn't see that. Well,
And so he's the play-by-play broadcaster. And I was like, that's a good, like,
that might be a fun way to spend the game,
harmless-
though. Yeah, it wouldn't be too bad.
harmless thing. So it was good.
We have a Lucas Terrier. Our Gertie is a Lucas Terrier, and I can't decide. I made the comment last night that sometimes she doesn't seem to use her listening ears.
Yeah, you did say that.
Right? And then,
Or does she
but you
just
commented and said you said she's not the only one. Well, that's what I can't tell if it's
Absolutely
selective. If she's just not she's intelligent but not obedient. Right? I can't
Just
quite,
not obedient towards you.
Perhaps that could be it, but I don't. That's what I'm unsure about. But she's not on the list of the 5 most obedient dogs. The breeds that are the most obedient apparently are Border Collies, Standard Poodles, Golden Retrievers,
Yeah, that makes sense.
Doberman Pinschers, German Shepherds. 5 most
I
obedient.
can see.
Yeah.
I can see that.
I will tell you the funniest, well, not the funniest, but one really funny thing that I enjoy watching Gertie do is she hates bugs. And she, being a terrier, right, she's like used to like sticking her snout in the earth and digging up whatever critters might be in there, including bugs. But when she goes charging after a bug, right, and will jump after it, that's one of the most fun things for me to watch.
Oh, my goodness. So the other night, there was a big, I don't know what that thing was.
I think
But
it's the
Gertie
size of
was
a hummingbird.
It was huge. It really was the size of one of my smaller hummingbirds. So Gertie is, and she's after it. Well, then Mark is standing, and he's got the fly swat, and Gertie's watching him. And
We teamed up. We got
He
it.
got it. Mark did. And it fell down or whatever, but she had to verify, indeed, that it was.
Do you have one of the
It was-
electronic one, the zappers?
No.
That's actually
traditional.
on my save for later list on Amazon.
It is? Huh.
Yeah, because I think it would be funny.
Yeah. Well, we
Oh,
do
listen,
have a bug light.
My uncle gave one for us, and I don't know that my little brother and I ever used it for bugs, and instead just used it on one another.
Yep.
Might as well. We are, it makes me wonder, do they still print dictionaries anymore? Actual books, you go buy a dictionary at Barnes & Noble. Are they available?
Do you have one at your house?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I have one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I definitely have one.
I don't.
There is going to be a dictionary in Barnes & Noble, but as far as the last copyright, I would be uncertain.
I was wondering if there's really any reason to print one anymore because it changes so fast. There are things that get added all the time. So we've just conceded to dictionary.com that they will be the arbiter of all of our words and what they mean. But there are some new additions, 566 new words to dictionary.com. Just to they do this at least, I think they do it no less frequently than annually. Nepo baby, unsee, unsend, NIL, Blur's Day, information pollution, greenwashing, crypto fascism, crony capitalism, big pharma, generative AI, chatbot, GPT, coffee nap, sleep debt, stress eating, intermittent fasting, polyromantic, autosexual, climate criminal, and eco-hazardous are all now in the
a couple of
dictionary.
those.
I had never heard of Blur's Day.
What is that? Does it say?
A day not easily distinguished from other days or the phenomenon of days running together.
Well, this is a good week where there's supposed to be a lot of Blur's days where there's, when you're on a short week.
I thought it was going to be one of those where the Urban Dictionary sneaks in, that Blur's Day would be something that college students do.
Yeah, it's
Because college,
Thirsty Thursday.
well, but language is evolutionary. I mean, you're always looking for a more clever way to say the old thing. So I thought maybe Thirsty Thursday was out because it's too many syllables. We can just call it Blur's Day.
Well, because there's some blurring happening on Thirsty Thursday.
Absolutely. So my guess was they just cut to the chase and just called it Blur's Day. I thought perhaps, but no, it's days running together. Obviously, I know what Big Pharma is. Nepo Baby is a celebrity with a parent who is also famous, especially one with whose industry connections are perceived as essential to their success. Wendy's is debuting a pumpkin spice Frosty. Wendy's, I love you. But when I saw this news, I go on mini rants about rants about pumpkin spice. I have realized that you're almost serving to polarize me if you come forward with your pumpkin spice and go, look, we got pumpkin spice. I think I'm less likely to come to you for your normal stuff. I know that's an ornery, stubborn way to be, but I just realized I think it's true.
I'm glad you admitted that's an ornery, stubborn way to approach that.
I don't care. But will I get this? No, but
it serves as it makes me think. But my reaction is opposite of what they might be hoping for when they say, "Look at me, we got pumpkin spice."
As long as they still got the regular Frosties, then it's good.
That's my thing, because I don't want cross-contamination. I'm going, don't get any pumpkin spice in my normal Frosty. So you don't...
I don't mind the pumpkin spice. It's just not my...
Don't cook my regular fries in the curly fry grease, because then I'll know, these got seasoned, and I don't want that.
Or they had the big
seasoning.
issue with the McDonald's spicy nuggets where they were cooking the spicy nuggets and the regular nuggets
That's
together.
Exactly right. It gets on you, and you got to be careful. Got to get to a break. We'll come back. Got more on the way here on In the Know.
This is Kentucky, where the only thing ordinary is the unexpected.
I got everything you need.
Horse country, legendary distilleries, rivers to paddle, lakes to splash and relax, big city vibes and small town charms. This is Kentucky. Come see for yourself. Plan your road trip at KentuckyTourism.com.
I got everything you need.
Do you own an annuity, either fixed rate, indexed, or variable? Are you paying high fees and getting low returns? If so, Annuity General would like you to have this free book to learn the pitfalls and mistakes of buying an annuity. The Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers contains the little-known truths about annuities, like how to help reduce your fees and increase retirement income. And it's free. That's right, free. As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report just for calling. We researched over 1,000 annuities and summarized rates and benefits from financially strong insurers. You get Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers and the Annuity Rate Report, both absolutely free for calling Annuity General today. Hurry, supplies are limited. Call now.
800-273-7075. 800-273-7075. 800-273-7075. That's 800-273-7075.
I heard about something called the Affordable Connectivity Program. It helps people save money on internet.
Where did you hear that?
On the internet.
I don't have the internet, but I'd like to.
You should apply to see if you're eligible. You could save $30 a month.
What's it called again? I want to sign up.
The Affordable Connectivity Program, or the ACP.
Get the internet you need for work, school, healthcare, and more. Sign up, connect, and save at getinternet.gov.
Kids across America are going to school hungry. Millions of kids every day. But one simple thing can help change all of this for a hungry child in America. Good, healthy food and the energy it brings. With help from caring people across America, No Kid Hungry is providing healthy meals and hope to hungry kids so they can build better futures. To learn more about ending child hunger in America, go to helpnokidhungry.org today.
K105 Weather is brought to you by Future Designs Building Materials on Quarry Road in Litchfield.
Twin Lakes weather. We'll keep some clouds overhead through the afternoon with highs near 80 degrees and a small chance for rain in the forecast. Now for tomorrow, some clouds still overhead, highs in the 70s, so keeping it cool. And we'll see the cooler weather sticking around through the upcoming weekend. From the Wave News Storm Tracking Team, I'm meteorologist Tawana Andrews.
Once I can see, this is mine, you can't take it. As long as I know I have love, I can make it. For once in my
Today's Did You Know is brought to you by ECTC Litchfield. It's college for the real world. It's affordable right here at home, and plenty of course offerings for you to get back on the road to education. You can figure out your student aid, you can figure out your schedule, go through the advising process, and get ready. They'll be starting their next 8-week advantage in the month of October, so now you have plenty of time to get ready for ECTC Litchfield, where they say, did you know? Fingernails grow faster in warm weather than they do in cold weather. Fingernails grow faster during warmer weather than they do during colder weather.
Interesting.
I saw this week's version of Hard Knocks on Tuesday night. It's the season finale of Hard Knocks, and Aaron Rodgers shared a very elaborate story about seeing a UFO in New York, New Jersey area in 2005, the night before the draft. He was at I think the guy's name was Levy. He was a college teammate of his, and so he was staying with him the night before the draft, and they saw, supposedly, they had a very distinct description of it and what it was, so I don't know.
He might have been enjoying himself a little bit. He might have been participating in Thirsty Thursday.
He could have been, but I tell you, he appeared to be very serious about it, so I don't
He's serious about a lot of things.
I don't know what to make of it. The Rolling Stones have new music. They got an album coming up.
Don't get angry with me. I never caused you no pain.
Now, the really cool thing about this is that it's shot like Rodeo Drive in a convertible, and as they're going down Rodeo Drive, there are all these billboards for the Rolling Stones, and they're showing video clips throughout history, like the album art from all their previous albums. But they've got an album coming out in a few days called Hackney Diamonds, and it's coming out October 20th, and Lady Gaga is on the new album. So Don't Be Angry With Me. Sounds like the Rolling Stones, right? I saw a piece this morning where they were doing the album launch premiere party. It was the 3 surviving members of the Rolling Stones, but Jimmy Fallon was introducing them, and Jimmy Fallon was introducing them as Mick Jagger. And so then Mick Jagger stands up and he says, I don't talk like that, and he was exactly what Jimmy Fallon had been doing. Anyway, it was a pretty good time. So anyway, new Stones music out. Barbie is coming to streaming services soon.
Oh, good.
You'll be able to buy it for $29.99. I think you can rent it for $24.99. All your that just means it's kind of like The Little Mermaid. It was available for purchase online, and it won't end up on Disney Plus, but it will end up being somewhere streaming, but it will still be
The Little Mermaid?
They first made it where you could pay to watch it online, and now it's just streaming if you're a Disney Plus customer.
Okay.
What I'm
it's
saying
like
is
a tiered system.
That's right. So now Barbie went from the theater to on demand. Pay for it, and then in a few months it will be released on some platform where you can stream it.
And probably for most people, if you made it this long without seeing it, you can wait a little bit longer.
Yeah. And we have the other. I still haven't. I meant to look and see if it's for kids because
because she's
Alea had
asked me
asked
about it.
Barbie.
Yeah. Is it?
And we're kind of.
Need to look it up and see, I suppose. And what else? Oh, and UK. There are a bunch of teams. UConn. There's some other teams that will be. Duke will be in there. The new Kobe Bryant shoes are out. What are they called, Sam? It's called Kobe's.
Mambas.
They have a number. They put a number on them each year.
Number 5?
Well, they already did Mambo number 5 because a little bit of Monica in his life was all that good stuff. But like each year, do they get a new number? Like these are the Kobe 12s? Or
I'm not a shoe guy.
They're
so
not
I
like iPhones?
Can't. I think so. I think they do something like that. And I'm sure somebody listening is a shoe guy and would be able to say. But this is a big deal.
Yeah. Well,
because the thing is that the players that are being recruited usually care a lot about the shoes and so on. So they want to get it.
These are white, so they're made for people my age, I guess. We got to get to a break. We'll come back with that more on the way. You're on In the Know.
Not every negative feeling is bad. In fact, a bad emotion can often point to something good. For example, when you miss your spouse because the two of you simply can't be together. Consider the late President Reagan and his beloved late wife Nancy. Since their passing, their love for one another has become almost legendary. Even during the demanding 8 years they spent in the White House, their marriage remained a priority, and they openly expressed their admiration for each other. When Mrs. Reagan was away, the president would often stand at the windows of the White House, watching for the lights of the car that would bring her home. And this couple's deep and unfailing devotion to one another endured through family challenges, the presidency, and even Mr. Reagan's long battle with Alzheimer's. I've also been blessed to be married to someone who I miss when she's away. I'm typically the one who's on the road, and I'm usually so busy I don't have a chance to be lonely. But when Jean is the one traveling, I count the hours until she returns. Obviously, it doesn't feel good, but it's a good problem to have. The next time the miles separate you and your spouse, be encouraged. When you enjoy your husband or wife's presence so much that their absence is difficult, it's a sign that you recognize just how fortunate you are to have that special person in your life. It's a bad feeling, but with a good meaning. To help your marriage thrive, visit FocusOnTheFamily.com. I'm Jim Daly.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's Medi-Share. Maybe you've heard switching to Medi-Share to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for Medi-Share is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. Medi-Share works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 866-88-BIBLE. That's 866-88-BIBLE. 866-88-BIBLE.
Life can be full of risks. One thing you shouldn't take a risk with ever is your family's health insurance. If you're self-employed or you now need affordable health insurance, you need to make this free call right now and see how the Health Insurance Helpline can help you get it. We specialize in helping the self-employed and people just like you that need affordable health insurance to get it. We have short and long-term health insurance plans, and some even cover dental, vision, and prescription drugs. Don't take a risk with your family's health insurance. It's not worth it. If you're self-employed or now need affordable health insurance, call right now and learn for free how to get it. Listen, affordable health insurance plans for everyone just like you are a free phone call away. So give us a shout right now.
800-659-7540. 800-659-7540. 800-659-7540. That's 800-659-7540.
MB's point to ponder for today. Why is it a bed is always the most comfortable when you aren't supposed to be in it?
Yeah, you're not wrong.
You disagree? You scrunched your nose.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Like you don't want to get out of it. It's like, oh, I'm supposed to get up. Oh, but the bed feels so good.
Just like if you ever realize that when you write out bed in lowercase, it looks like a bed.
That's true. It does. You got the headboard and the footboard on there and all that good stuff. The city best for retirement, the top 10 best and worst cities to retire. Number 1, Tampa, Florida.
Okay.
Scottsdale, Arizona was at 2, Fort Lauderdale at 3, Orlando at 4, Miami at 5. 4 of the 5 have something in common.
Beach.
They're in the state of Florida. Scottsdale, Arizona doesn't have much of a beach.
Yeah, I was thinking.
4 of the 5. You said 4 of the 5 had something in common.
Yeah.
And I was saying that Scottsdale doesn't. I mean, but Scottsdale has the weather.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
It's a dry heat. Casper, Wyoming was at 6. Denver, 7. Cincinnati, 8.
Really?
Yeah. Charleston, South Carolina, 9. Atlanta, 10.
Everyone loves the beaches of Cincinnati.
The worst cities for retirement. Stockton, California, 182. Out of 182 cities that are ranked, I'm sure they got to meet a population standard. Newark was right behind that. Bakersfield, California is bad. There are a bunch of Californias in the worst 10, including Rancho Cucamonga. Steven, UK quarterback.
Johnson?
Yeah, Steven Johnson. Wasn't he from?
I think you're right.
Yeah. One quarterback from like the last 10 years was
Steven Johnson's the one from California. I think he's from Rancho Cucamonga.
Rancho Cucamonga, which is very fun to say. Francisco.
I was waiting for it.
All right. On television tonight, Big Brother.
All right.
I saw Mr. Spectacular from OVW apparently is coming back on it this week. Jesse
on Big Brother?
Yeah. Thanks
for the spoiler.
Oh.
No,
okay.
he posted this on his social media, so I don't think it's a.
Well, it's a spoiler to us.
Yeah, sorry.
And listen, I don't know what he is to Big Brother, so I have no idea.
Nor do I. I didn't know he was on it to begin with.
Yeah, I think he won it back in some of the early years.
Really? Okay. Does their wrestling show come out next week?
A week from yesterday.
A week from yesterday. Okay. So the NFL kicks off tonight. Yeah, I definitely will watch it. Got the Lions at the Chiefs. It would be nice if that were going to be a game, but I don't know that it's going to be.
Oh, it will be.
It will be
without question. Yeah, okay. Lions are going to be good this year.
All right.
Lions might make the playoffs.
So we'll watch last night's Big Brother and tonight's Big Brother. We'll have those, so we'll be caught up.
I'll watch the Lions and the Chiefs instead.
The Challenge The Challenge USA is on CBS after Big Brother, and then on A&E, The First 48 presents Critical Minutes. And then I guess we have some people that'll be watching the Cards play the Racers. Today's highlight in history, this day 1940, Nazi Germany. Did you know I have the ACC network taken out of my program guide?
Oh.
Like YouTube TV, you can decide what programs are in your program guide. The ACC doesn't appear online.
Oh, well, you got to be careful because there is the chance that since Kentucky's playing at Louisville this year, that could be an ACC network game.
Well, here's my workaround. All Kentucky
pops up for you.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
So he'll even go find it for me. I don't have to see that clutter. I'm not going to watch it anyway. 1940, Nazi Germany began its 8-month blitz of Britain during World War II with the first air attack on London.
We got to cheer for Murray, though, because one of their running backs, Qdarius Jennings, was played at Grayson County his sophomore year here.
Is Q on the Murray State team?
He is. So Q's on that team. So that's why, I'm all in on the Racers today.
Well, between Q and Max Duffy, I'm going to have to put a bet on Murray. No, you got to be in person to do it.
You got to drive to Churchill.
Oh, well, darn. Don't have time to drive to Churchill today.
I'm sure you could find somebody that in this local area that give you one that might not be the most.
I guess I'll just have to use the old-fashioned bookie instead. Tupac was shot and mortally wounded this day in 1996. Birthdays
I thought he
today.
wasn't dead, though.
There are a bunch of them.
Isn't that all the...
I didn't say he died. I said he was shot and mortally wounded. Did I say he died? I didn't say that. Gloria Gaynor is 80 today. Julie Kavner is 73. Julie Kavner was on Rhoda, but you know her most famously as being the voice of Marge Simpson.
Oh, okay.
Chrissy Hynde from The Pretenders is 72. Corbin Burnson is 69. Diane Warren is 67. Oliver Hudson is 47. Evan Rachel Wood is 36. There were also a really big list of gone but not forgotten. Elizabeth the first one ever.
Mm-hmm.
First Elizabeth ever named, 1533. Grandma Moses was born in 1860. That's why it's Grandma Moses Day. J.P. Morgan, born in 1867. Paul Brown, born in 1908. Arthur Ferrante, born in 1921. Al McGuire, 1928. Buddy Holly in 1936. It is odd to think Al McGuire was born 8 years before Buddy Holly, because Al McGuire worked late in life, and so I knew him, but Buddy Holly was gone long before I was ever born. But it's weird that Al McGuire was older than Buddy Holly. At least that was a hard thing for me to comprehend when I read the list this morning.
Paul Brown's the best one on that list, though.
Paul Brown. Chart toppers, 1959. Santo and Johnny. When I tell you the name of this song, you'll go, oh yeah, it does sound like that.
Mm-hmm.
Sleepwalk. Right? Sound like somebody sleepwalking?
Hear that maybe on the Cook Ranch catalog at some point. Maybe a cover.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe add some words to it.
Oh, they'd probably ruin it by putting words to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe some falsetto in there.
Extra falsetto. Stereo falsetto is the 1968 Jeannie C. Ride at number 1.
I want to tell you all a story about a Harper Valley widowed wife.
Oh, yeah? Well, spill the tea.
Who had a teenage daughter who attended Harper Valley Junior High.
Oh, junior high.
This makes me miss Misty.
Well, her daughter came home one afternoon.
I guarantee you she's entertaining the people of Hawaii with this song.
Oh, can you imagine? I can see it. Ukulele, grass skirt. I have it. Ukulele. With her grass skirt. I can see it.
I'll tell you a story about a Harper Valley widowed
Yes.
wife.
And they'd all just be wide-eyed.
Yep. 1977, Emotions, The Best of My Love. Whoa, whoa. Okay, I was waiting for a whoa, whoa, but we didn't get there. And because I really want to get to 1986, because it was in 1986 that Lionel was teaching us how to dance on the ceiling. Whoa, what a feeling.
Did you have that outfit in high school?
Pretty close. I learned how to dance on the ceiling from Lionel Richie and from Figment.
Uh-oh.
You've had to be at Figments to know the upside down part. Gangster's Paradise. Coolio. I still like Amish Paradise better.
From Weird Al?
And call me Hezekiah. Yeah. Maroon 5.
It's a heck of a transition from Gangster's Paradise to...
It's a hard pivot. Hard pivot.
Coolio to Adam Levine. He can sing, but...
Yeah. 10 years ago today. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. First, you learn to read, then you read to learn. First, you learn to read, then you read to learn. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Remember, God loves you, and I do too. If you don't know Jesus, let me know, and I'll introduce you. Look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow for another edition of our show. For Sam Gormley, for Beej, I'm MB, and now you're in the know.
Powering through the Twin Lakes with the best mix of music, news, weather, and fun. If it's in